Well, greetings everybody. It's a little later than I usually do a video, but man, I'm so tired after work. Uh, where's my notes? Got my notes right here. Oh man. So I'm gonna review Bones and All. As you can see, I got it from the library, and I wouldn't have watched it unless if it hadn't been at the library, for free, because I heard how good it was. But I remember when that movie Teeth came out, when the girl has like fangs in her private area, and I remember I watched it, and that's one of the movies that made me think, this isn't a horror movie. It has horror elements, but they don't. I don't know. It just kind of bothered me that there's these movies like this that they don't want to be a horror movie, but they want to have something shocking or horror elements or gore or a killer. But it's just, and even if they're right in saying this isn't a horror movie, just I wouldn't call Teeth though. Oh, I haven't seen it in so long. But I remember I was like, this isn't a horror movie. It has something cool, like there's a weird thing in it, but it's not a horror movie. That movie, oh god, the director that made Titane, and then she made that movie before that, which was also about like cannibalism. I wouldn't call that. Anyway, I got Bones and All, and I liked it. I thought it was really good. I heard people put on their lists for like best movies of 2022, and I was like, it just looks lame. I was like, I guess this isn't a horror movie either, but I thought it was really good. There's some parts that were, I don't know, they just made me like, they had an uneasy feeling, and now I think it's because, well, it reminded me of Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and Clean Shaven, because just the way they make America look. I don't know if either of those movies had any influence on the director Luca Guadagnino, but just the way they show like the back roads and small towns of America in this, just it seemed like a place you wouldn't want to be. So the story is about this girl Marin. She's a cannibal, and she attacks someone, and she goes home. She just lives with her dad, and as soon as she gets home, her dad, he's all, okay, you did it again, we gotta move. And they go somewhere, I forgot where they go, but in the middle of the night he leaves her, and he records, oh yeah, and this is set in the 80s too. He records a tape talking about what little he knows about her cannibalism, which isn't much. She's just kind of, I don't know if he's scared of her. I don't think he's scared of her, but he just can't take any more of her eating people and her killing. But Marin, at first, like, I was like, she's gonna be like a bitch or a real psycho weirdo, but her character is really nice, and she doesn't want to hurt people and kill people, but she does. So she goes on the quest to find her mother. Maybe like, at first I thought it was just to find someone else. She's like totally alone, but then I realized that she thinks her mother knows more about why she's a cannibal. And the cannibals in this, they're like almost supernatural. Like they can smell each other. They can smell. One says he can smell when people are gonna die. They're not like faster or stronger, but they seem to have better eyesight and hearing and smell. So I thought that was cool. Because there's whenever you take cannibalism out of the jungle or the backwoods, I just don't care anymore. Like there's a movie, I can't remember what it's called, but the cannibals are like 50s greasers looking, and I just didn't care. Like they're killing in the city, and I didn't even watch it all. But Bones and All, so she meets up with this old man called Sully, who seems like a real weirdo, but he teaches her a little bit. he teaches her how to like, I guess, use her senses. I don't even know if they showed that part. I don't think they did. And he wants her to like travel with him because he's so lonely. But she's like 18 and he's like a old geezer, so she runs away from him. He didn't really do anything, but she could. I think she sensed that he wanted. I'm assuming he wanted sex from her, or at least a companionship that she didn't want to give. So she's bumming around. She's trying to get. I can't remember where her mom is located. Maybe it says it's a couple of states away from. I remember like Indiana, maybe Idaho. But anyway, she meets up with Lee, played by Timothy Chalamet, and he's one too. So since they're about the same age, they hook up. At first, not like boyfriend and girlfriend, just to travel together and have a companion. And he agrees to help her find her mother and find out what she can about herself and her cannibalism. There was one part where they're out in the woods, and this was like I said, this reminded me of Clean Shaven. Also a little bit of a Layman novel, because they travel. They're on like the fringe of society. They're not belong to the world we live in. They take the back roads. They steal. They kill and eat people. And so they're like just hanging out, and then these two guys just come up, and I was like, oh man, what's gonna happen? I was like nervous. I was like, what are they gonna do? Who's gonna kill who? But there's another cannibal, and he said he could smell them. And he starts. This is where you hear the title Bones and all. He says, like, you gotta eat them bones and all. That's like the second you change a little. It's like there's something like there's the first time you eat someone, and then there's when you eat them bones and all, and that changes. And then this guy tells Lee and Marin that his friend he's not like them. He's just a regular person that's a cannibal, and like that freaks Marin out, because she's like, you're not one of us. So she goes in the truck, and later Lee gets in there, and they sneak off, and the cannibal that smelled him chases him, and he just runs after the truck and like yells. But that was pretty creepy. I was like, man, they need to get away from this guy. And I thought this guy and his cannibal friend were gonna come back, but they never do. So yeah, it's just Marin looking for her mom, and she does find her. And that is probably the most disturbing, kind of scary scene in the movie, I thought. I'll leave it there, because if you want to see it, there's I don't want to spoil anything. I thought it was really good. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes, which is just, they could have wrapped it up, because maybe around an hour and 45 minutes, I was like, okay, it's almost ended for me. I don't like, they just start showing stuff that they're doing, and I was like, this could have been at the beginning of the movie. It could have been 30 minutes. It could have been an hour and 10 minutes. I don't know how they're gonna wrap this up. I was like, okay, is it gonna get like super gory and gross and nasty and bloody? I was a hope, and it does end in violence, but it's not that bad. But it was okay. It was an okay ending. But more of the way they show, and this filmmaker is Italian, and he did the Suspiria remake, but he also did that Call Me By Your Name, which I haven't seen. I don't think I would have interest in seeing it, but I'm glad I saw Bones and all. I don't know if I'd watch it again. I don't think so, because my last review of Ghoulies 2, I'll watch Ghoulies 2 again many more times. I don't know if I'd watch Bones and all. Maybe, I don't, but not right now. Not all the movies I have to watch that I've bought and get from the library and VHS and stuff. It's just not I don't know, mate. It's just so hard. There's movies that I watch that I tell myself I'm gonna watch, like Barbarian, Evil Dead Rise, Cyst. Like, if you like a movie. But I thought it was really good. I'd give it a 4 out of 5, just because it's so well made. And they use They used Joy Division and New Order songs, so that was cool. They used them really well. Uh, Timothy Chalamet, all I know him from is Dune, and I thought he was fine in that, but he's really good in this. Like, he seems like kind of dangerous, but he even he is, but he tells Marion like I weigh 140 pounds, like soaking wet. I have to have like an extreme personality. And the actress that plays Marion, Taylor Russell, she's like 29 years old, and here she says I'm 18, and I didn't even believe she was 18. She looks so young, and she was really good too. So yeah, if you see it, yeah, it's not something I don't think anyone would be disappointed if they saw this. And yeah, give it 4 out of 5. Man with Hands of Fate. Go to your library and you can check it out.